The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
It is primary day in New York and a handful of other states, but a very dangerous day for our country, in particular for New York. I am going to break it down, and this is as serious gets. Dominic Carter here with you, 800-848-9222. So, Mamdani's wife, the racist, urges New Yorkers to vote for DSA members, but notably, she leaves out one candidate. She winks in a photo. I guess she thinks she's cute. I don't know who told her that. And then she urges New Yorkers to vote for DSA members. But she left one out. She left one DSA member out, if you will. And that is ex-city comptroller and failed candidate for mayor, Brad Lander, who happens to be Jewish. And he's squaring off with incumbent Congressman Dan Goldman in New York's 10th district today. We have a lot to talk about, serious issues. And 1 + 1 is finally starting to equal 2 for me, folks. What socialists are doing, it's wicked. They won't form their own party. Socialists won't form their own party. They are coming into the Democrat Party, infiltrating the Democrat Party, promising a bunch of people that don't know any better, free, and as a result, they are now taking over the Democrat Party. If you don't wake up, listen, we can all be Republicans. I'm a very proud Republican. If we don't wake up as Americans real soon, there will be no Democrat Party, and that's bad news. It's bad news because it will only be a bunch of radical socialists that's going to take this country over the cliff even further. Very serious circumstance. We're going to talk about also, right? So Mamdani's wife. But we're going to talk about Congressman Goldman, right? In terms of being told not to show back up at a coffee shop. A sitting member of Congress being told not to come back to a coffee shop. Why? Because he supports Israel. This is happening in New York City in 2026. And these socialists and people with these outrageous political views, they are getting away with it. I want you to listen to something, and I want you to listen carefully. Please, I am begging of you. This is Melissa DeRosa on Fox News talking about socialists. And she's hipping you, me, all of us to the game that's being played by socialists, right? It started with AOC out of nowhere. Really, Bernie Sanders, right? In AOC. And now we have Mamdani and his racist wife. Listen to Melissa DeRosa on Fox News as it relates to socialists.
His political muscle. He's backing some candidates for the primary in New York tomorrow, challenging some congressional candidates in the Democratic Party. And this is coming as some of these candidates are saying this is the beginning of a domino effect for the socialist power to go across the nation and in the Democratic Party in particular. We're back with the panel. Melissa, let me start with you. I mean, do you see this as a major shift for the Democratic Party?
Well, first of all, they're not Democrats, right? They're socialists, and they're essentially parasites. They've decided that they cannot win on their own by creating their own party, so they are going to latch onto the Democratic Party, feed off of it with the overall goal of taking it over and killing it. And so that's what the DSA is doing. They started this back in 2016 with Bernie versus Hillary. AOC then gets elected in 2018. You see the introduction of the squad and what's been happening since then. And so this year, they really do feel like like it's their big opportunity. They are going for broke. And you don't see them trying to win purple seats or red seats. You see them trying to pick off Democrats in safe blue seats.
And that's exactly what's happening today. Mamdani has endorsed a number of socialist candidates in what should be safe Democrat districts. Folks, if we don't wake up, the Democrat Party is going to be gone. There is only one way to stop this. You have got to vote against these socialists. They have got to be stopped. America is not going to survive this type of politics. 800-848-9222. Something I want you to listen to. Mamdani asked about an anti-Semitic comment he made as it relates to AIPAC. And this is a woman teeing off on Mamdani after he's asked a question by a Channel 4 reporter. And she's teeing off on him, but on social media. But what she's saying is as real as real gets. And then we're going to get into the Dan Goldman situation. Wait until you hear that. A sitting member of Congress goes to a coffee shop. His daughter has to go to the bathroom. I've been there when my son has had to go to the bathroom. And he buys a cup of coffee because he felt the lady was so nice. And then they post on social media, he's not welcomed, he supports AIPAC, and they refund him his money. They refund him his money. Now, I want you to think about this. If an African-American congressman went into a coffee shop and they posted on social media, you're not welcomed here because you're black, how long do you think that establishment would stay open until the city sent in 1 million inspectors to find a reason to shut them down immediately? We have to have one set of rules. Listen to Mamdani facing the question and answering, and the woman teeing off on social media.
Members of the Jewish community, including Democratic Congressman Josh Gottheimer, were alarmed by the language you used at the rally last week, calling AIPAC monsters who move dark money. These are phrases that invoke old anti-Semitic tropes and conspiracy theories. What do you say to those who are concerned that the language you used is dangerous?
Now, I want to be very clear. We're talking about a status quo where children are being killed on a daily basis. More than 1,000 Palestinians have been killed by the Israeli military since the so-called ceasefire. Even an Al Jazeera...
He asked you a question, Dick. We're not talking about Palestine. We're not talking about Gaza. We're not talking about the IDF. In fact, the last time I checked, you were elected by a bunch of other sticks to be mayor of New York City. New York City houses the largest Jewish population outside of Israel. Why is your focus on Israel, the IDF, and Palestinian children? He asked you why you're being a racist. You know what's crazy about Zoran the Moron Mamdani? He was talking about AIPAC being monsters that move dark money. Do you have the same energy for Qatar that moves dark money? Every single thing this piece of says is an actual tell on themselves. And this is exactly how they operate. Every single thing they project, they are guilty of. And him and his terrorist wife have just been foaming at the mouth about Jews this entire time. And we're supposed to sit here and take it? Since when did anti-Semitism become the norm? Why is it okay for the mayor to make these dangerous tropes and these conspiracy theories a thing? Because he wants to make it dangerous for Jewish New Yorkers to live in New York. And he's going to succeed. It's going to become very dangerous to be a Jew in New York very soon.
And that's the reality, because we're there already right now. Congressman Dan Goldman. I have never in the last few decades heard of something like this. A sitting member of Congress on a weekend goes into a Brooklyn coffee shop, the coffee shop Poetica in Brooklyn, and his daughter has to go to the bathroom. I've been there with my son. You have to find a place and let the child go to the bathroom. So the young lady that worked there lets the child go to the restroom. The congressman, a sitting member of Congress, buys a cup of coffee because he feels obligated because the staffer was so nice. Then he finds out later on social media where they posted basically that he's not welcome there. Don't come back. Here's your refund. Basically, do you still support AIPAC and Israel? Listen to this recap from Fox News.
Lander is challenging Congressman Dan Goldman, who was recently banned from a Brooklyn coffee shop over his pro-Israel views. Poetica Coffee posted this now deleted photo of Goldman with the caption, "They don't know the internet saves this stuff." Oh, goodness. Anyway, hey, Dan Goldman, we see that you stopped by our coffee shop today for a coffee. Do you see how it doesn't taste like genocide juice? Or are you still having a hard time telling the difference? That same coffee shop boasts online about its policy of, quote, radical hospitality. Its website claims the store is open to everyone. Obviously, everyone does not include supporters of Israel. The Justice Department is now investigating.
And the Justice Department should shut them down. And I mean immediately. This can't be tolerated. A coffee shop in Brooklyn, New York, discriminating openly against people, against certain customers. It's unacceptable. It would not be tolerated if they discriminated against the black community. Why is it okay that they discriminate against the Jewish community? And everybody looks the other way, led by the man at City Hall and his racist wife, who winks vote for DSA candidates, but leaves out Brad Lander, who happens to be Jewish. Dan Goldman, you got Lander and Goldman competing tonight in a primary, but Goldman appeared on CNN.
Yeah, it was quite surprising, in part because I had such a nice interaction with the barista in the coffee shop. She was wearing a hijab. I didn't know her, but she couldn't have been nicer and allowed my daughter to go use the bathroom. And I honestly was so grateful for her kindness that I felt like I should buy a coffee. And so I did, and I gave her a large tip. And it was diametrically opposite to that post that I came upon later. And it's a real sad, it's a reflection, I think, of a sad state of affairs that without knowing me, we could have had such a nice interaction. Two people, obviously from different backgrounds, different faiths, but that's what America is. And that's what New York City is. That is what I believe in.
And so that's the congressman there. Let's go to your telephone calls. Lori, line 5, Long Island. Lori, what's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic, there's no place anywhere, especially in New York City, for anti-Semitism. That being said, I have no grace for Dan Goldman. He gets what he gives.
No, Lori, no. I'm not having that. We're not going to, if you want to attack the congressman on his policies, fine. But come on now. We're talking about discriminating against Jews openly. And you want to say, oh, it's not acceptable, but now let me lash out at Goldman? Come on, Lori.
That's not what I'm saying. He can come against anybody all the time. Right? He's nasty to people all the time.
What does that have to do with a sitting member of Congress being told don't come back because you're Jewish and you support Israel?
But then he needs to understand how it feels on the other side when people have been boycotted and businesses shut down and all of his hate for anybody who doesn't believe in what he believes in.
So you're saying we should tolerate bigotry. That's what you're saying directly.
No, I am not. No, Dominic, you have a way of twisting people's words. That's not what I'm saying.
Here's what I have a way of doing. I've got to take a break. We're coming right back.
Yeah, cool.
A Lego set is a gift that always clicks. And clicks.
The end of the final lap, and we've got a champion.
And clicks. For kids who love everything on wheels, choose a Lego set. A gift that always clicks.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
I don't know, folks. I cannot believe this is happening in 2026 in New York City. I have seen the rich tradition of mayors. Most outstanding, some bad. but their hearts were always in the right place. Now we have someone who appears by all accounts to be anti-Semitic at City Hall. His wife is even worse. And what's the best way I can say this? Trying to be respectful of the office of mayor. The first time I saw a photo of this lady, I knew something was terribly wrong with her. You can look at her and see the evil. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Tell me you can't look at a photo of the mayor's wife and not see the evil that exists in that lady. So at Poetica, the Brooklyn coffee shop that told a sitting member of Congress not to come back, his daughter had to go to the restroom. They let her go to the restroom. They didn't know he was a member of Congress. He felt obligated. He buys a cup of coffee. They refund him his money and tell him don't come back. Part of their statement on social media, quote, "See, here at Poetica, we don't serve racists, fascists, homophobes, genocide enablers, or anyone in between. Too bad we didn't recognize you right away, or we would have turned you away. We issued you a refund, and we don't want your money. It's probably coming from AIPAC anyways. Enjoy your loss on Tuesday. Don't ever come to Poetica." Poetica needs to meet Mr. Click. In other words, Poetica needs to be shut down immediately. Let's go to Tim, line 5, Queens. What's on your mind, Tim?
Hey, Dominic, thanks for taking my call. You know, I'm a born and bred New Yorker, just like you. I think you're from the Bronx, right?
Yes.
I'm from Queens, and you know, I'm a proud New Yorker. I'm a proud Jew, and I've never, ever, ever seen anything like this. And I heard about the Dan Goldman thing yesterday, and I was just so I felt almost physically sick, you know, just thinking about it.
That's how I feel right now.
Yeah, and you know, man, I just want to say thank you, because you're out there every day on the radio sticking up for what's right, sticking up for America and for the Jewish New Yorkers against anti-Semitism. And so from the bottom of my heart, man, I'm just thanking you, because it makes me feel good to know you're out there in this sea of insanity we have going on right now.
Hey, Tim, thank you for that, but I'll repeat what I often say. I'm not owed anything, so I appreciate it. But I look at history, and I look at the fact that Jewish Americans died to help Black Americans achieve fairness. And so what's right is right. And we have to all stick together. We're all Americans. But I'm telling you, folks, this socialism thing, it's dangerous. We have got to get rid of this. If we don't, pretty soon there won't be a Democrat Party. When we come back, we'll talk live with former Congressman Peter King.
Starting a business can seem like a daunting task, unless you have a partner like Shopify. They have the tools you need to start and grow your business. From designing a website to marketing to selling and beyond, Shopify can help with everything you need. There's a reason millions of companies like Mattel, Heinz, and Allbirds continue to trust and use them. With Shopify on your side, turn your big business idea into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
The Dominic Carter Show, entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And we are back, and we will be returning to your telephone calls. We see all the calls, but first, as always, we are joined right now by former Congressman Peter King. Congressman, always a great honor for me to chat with you. How are you? How's your family?
I tell you, Dominic, I'm doing fine. Rosemary's doing fine. Everybody's in good spirits, good health, and can't ask for more.
Well, I'm really glad to hear that, Congressman. We have a few serious topics to get to here, and they're really bothering me on a personal level. So, Mom Donnie's wife, and again, this is me talking, not you. The first time I saw this lady, when they kept her away from us during the campaign, I said, there's something evil and something bad about this woman. Okay, so it worked for Mom Donnie. He kept her away. He was able to get over and hide his wife's feelings, right? So the first time I saw a picture of this woman, everybody was trying to say she's this great fashion person. And I looked at a picture of her and I said, there's something wrong with this lady here. This lady looks like pure evil. That was my honest first assessment. And now I have found my instincts never fail me. So his wife urges New Yorkers to vote for DSA members, but notably leaves out one candidate who happens to be Brad Lander, who is Jewish. What's going on here, Congressman?
Wow. If anyone deserves to be double-crossed, it's Lander, because he's a snake in the grass himself. I don't know what that is. I mean, obviously, the difference would be is that Brad Lander is Jewish and the others aren't, and that could well be the reason, because you're right. First of all, I don't know how you would have endorsed any of these candidates, any of it, but to add all of them to support all the others, not support Lander, to me, because he's as bad as they are, and she should be going in his direction. So it's really hard to say. And also the fact that she is making it clear that she's different with 100, from 100, and yet she picks the one guy who is as liberal as that, maybe even more so. So all I see is different is the fact that he's Jewish and the other aren't. That's all I can think of.
So, Congressman King, it hit me today. It really did, and boy, did it hit me hard. The scam that socialists are running, the political con, the game. They're too weak to run on their own. They would be seen for what they are, absolute nut jobs. No one would take them seriously. So they said, you know what? We got a new con. Let's infiltrate the Democrat Party. Let's run as Democrats. Let's fool all of these people that don't have any political knowledge and promise them everything under the sun. Free, 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 right? Free, free, free. They don't know the difference. We're elected and we take over the Democrat Party. Am I wrong, or is exactly what is going on?
No, I think you're right. And the fact is that there's always socialists running for office in New York. Usually they run some third or fifth state. They'd be down near the bottom, and they get maybe 1% of the vote. But the same type person now running as a part of a regular political party is doing a tremendous. They're getting really. They're campaigning under false colors, different flags.
I agree with that. I agree with that, Congressman.
As all these years as socialists, they went nowhere. But as member of the Democratic Party, or opposing as member of the Democratic Party, they're actually now getting votes they never would have gotten if they were going on the wrong colors.
Congressman, I'm going to get to Iran in a second, but it's wicked what Mamdani is doing. He has picked traditional Democrat seats in today's primaries to put up insurgents, these nuts that are far crazier than him. And I don't think the American people realize what's happening. What he's saying is, okay, if you get rid of me in a few years, my people, my socialists are going to infiltrate Congress. Do you think the public sees what's going on?
Probably not right now. I wish they would, because it may be too late. Sooner or later. I mean, to have these people in the United States Congress, people who have no love for the United States, who are radical left-wingers, coming in really under false pretense, somehow making believe they're part of a traditional American political party, when actually they're running with really foreign views and beliefs. So it may be too late. But listen, one thing I have to give them credit for is that they know what they're doing. They take advantage of the average, unfortunately, the average New Yorker, the average American is not realize how they're getting roped into this. And the thought of having people like this running as a member of an established political party in the United States, when they really hold views that are some kind of European left-wing foreign ideology, is really going to cause lasting damage to the United States.
Congressman King, if an African American in 2026 walked into a coffee shop and the coffee shop later tweeted, we don't serve black people here. We don't serve ends here. How long do you think it would be before the city of New York would find a way to shut that establishment down?
Oh, maybe 2 seconds, 3 seconds. I don't know. I mean,
that's right.
It would have been all along. But now, I mean, listen, I am not any kind of a supporter of Dan Goldman. I can think of any number of issues I would disagree with him on, probably all of them. But to deny him, in effect, to not even take his money away, give him his money back because he's a supporter of Israel, if that isn't bias, if that isn't prejudice, if that isn't un-American, I don't know what it is. But if this had happened just a few years ago, it wouldn't have happened. But now, somehow it's happening. It's happening in front of us. And to me, there is outrage. I mean, I had it on Facebook, and I got a big response to it. Having said that, just a few years ago, this would have been unheard of. And so really, even though there are maybe more people protesting than, let's say, Mandami would have thought, his people, the fact is, to me, everyone should be opposed to it. This should be absolutely nowhere, and yet somehow, this is now becoming part of the American political landscape, and to me, it's just really, really dangerous.
And it's happening because it's a wink, wink, and a nod, nod from City Hall. But Congressman King, a sitting member of Congress.
Right.
This is not, some regular person. This is a member of Congress. And you post on social media, don't come back. Here's your money. You probably got the money from AIPAC. The fact that they're bold enough to put that in writing, and they're still open. They're still open. I don't get it, Congressman. Please help me understand.
Dominic, I'm sorry I can't, because I cannot explain it. And I said I never would have believed it. Again, a year or two ago, it was unheard of, but it's happening now. It's becoming part of our political landscape. It's wrong. It's dangerous. And it shows how far we've gone. And now you were saying that the American people are going to catch on. I hope they do, because really I don't know how long we can tolerate this happening before it just becomes too much. And it's dangerous. I can disagree with people. That's part of the American dream. I have no problem with that. But when you have people who are so far out of the mainstream, who are anti-American, who really have no belief in what you and I and every other American in the past had always believed in, and to see what's happening today, again, it's scary, it's dangerous, and Mandami is, he and his followers are really causing tremendous harm and damage to our country.
I never would have predicted this, Congressman King. We have, by all accounts, what appears to be an anti-Semitic mayor. We know his wife is racist, and they're living in a taxpayer-paid mansion with 24-hour, around-the-clock NYPD protection. You cannot make this up. And if you say, good morning, Mr. Mayor, what's your take on garbage? Palestine is being done a disservice. Mr. Mayor, what do you think about health care? Palestine children are dying. I mean, I just don't know. So President Trump, he's in battleground Pennsylvania. What do Republicans need to do right now, Congressman? I don't see Republicans losing the House, but what do Republicans, what does President Trump need to do?
Well, we have to unite. We have to really form a sense of unity. Don't get involved in internecine warfare with ourselves. We have to really stand for American principles, be unafraid to do it, speak loudly and clearly in favor of the United States, and don't hold back at all as far as attacking people like those of the socialists, going after them and letting the American people know what's really happening, and to stand for American values. And we have to do it. We can't allow this to go on.
How about Iran? Does this deal hold up? How does this play out, Congressman King?
I tell you, I think it's going to be tough. First of all, Iran will only do what they have to do. They're not going to do anything out of goodwill. They're not going to do anything out of integrity. Whatever they do, it's going to be because they feel they have no alternative. And we have to keep the pressure on them. We can't let them be deciding what's happening. For instance, during these negotiations right now, we're negotiating Iran's issues. We didn't. This Lebanon was not favored this war. Why is Iran calling the shots, including Lebanon, in the peace agreements? So the fact that we are debating what's going to happen with Iran, how Israel has to get out of Lebanon, that's, to me, we should not be negotiating that. We were at war with Iran, not with Lebanon. So we're unfortunately, letting Iran call the shots as to what we negotiate over. And we haven't even gotten to the issue of what's going to happen, with their enriched uranium. So this is, we have to get it back on target. And we're talking about Iran, leave it at Iran, go after them. And we can't allow Iran to be determining what we do, what Israel does, as far as Lebanon is concerned. Iran, okay, that's part of it. That's what's on the table. Nothing else.
Congressman King, I close this way. Primary day, New York, a number of states. I love asking you this question because it points me in the direction of what I should be looking at. What are you looking at tonight? Are there any bellwethers? What is Peter King going to be looking at tonight? Any specific race?
Yeah, actually, the one involving Espaillat. I knew him when I was in Congress. We disagreed on 99.9% of the issues. And I couldn't imagine anyone being too much further to the left than Adriano Espaillat. But he's a normal person. You could talk to him. You could work with him if you had to. And to think that he is being targeted and that they're trying to purge him from Congress is something I never would have thought I'd see the Democratic Party do. Also, I'll be honest, here on Long Island, I'm very much with Janine Driscoll. She's running. Michael Petrie. They're running in Republican primaries. I want to make sure that they won. In fact, Rosemary and I are going over in about 20 minutes to vote for Janine Driscoll. She's running for Congress in my district. And it's important that they not just win, but she and Michael Petrie win. That's in the 4th and 3rd districts. But they do it in a way that shows they are solid winners so we can all get behind them.
And you mentioned Adriano Espaillat. It is despicable that Mayor Mamdani is running an insurgent who is absolute nutty, anti-Semitic, anti-American, anti. But it's Mamdani's cup of tea. And that's the person that's challenging Adriano Espaillat. Hey, Congressman Peter King, always a great honor for me to chat with you. Thank you very much.
Dominic, thank you. It's always a pleasure. You're the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And folks, we see all your telephone calls. Let's get it. Let's go to Roberta. Line 2 in Brooklyn. Roberta, what's on your mind?
I'm very upset, Dominic. First of all, let me say that I am a Jewish woman, and I want to know, this is a message to my people. I am so upset with them because they are tolerating this behavior with this Poetica Cafe. Where's Bill Hyken and Jerry Nadler and Chuck Schumer? And number one, and I don't know if you can agree with me, but I remember when the black people years ago did a sit-in at a counter very quietly, non-violently, till they were served. And if I were young, because I'm 85 now, I would be there at the sit-in saying, here, we're all Jewish, 20 people were sitting at your counter. You either serve us or we're not leaving. And if they
I love that idea, Roberta. But after the 20 Jewish people, there needs to be 20 black people behind them, and then 20 Latino people, and then 20 Asian American people, all saying the same. You don't serve my Jewish brothers and sisters, we are shutting you down. Roberta, I got to take a break. Go ahead. You have the final word.
If they refuse to serve us, I dare them to put a sign in their window saying no Jews allowed. You think they have that much guts? I don't.
No, I don't either. Thank you, young lady, for the great telephone call. Always a pleasure to chat with you. It is time for a break. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And the Tunnel to Towers Foundation final thoughts. Folks, I am telling you, I'm pretty good at predicting things. No, I'm not pretty good. I am darn good. I am warning you. I am ringing the alarm bell. Any candidate that's associated in any regard with socialism, get as far away from them as you can. And to those of you that are new to the political experience, don't believe the hype, right? Public Enemy said that in their song. Don't believe the hype. They're promising you something that they can never deliver on. And when they're in office, believe me, they are going to wreck your way of American life. Back to your telephone calls. Line 4, Kent in the Bay Area, California. Kent, what's on your mind? Kent, what's on your mind? Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, go ahead. You're wasting time.
No, I'm not. I wanted to share some kicks last week.
Okay, I'm not feeling this. Meet Mr. Click. Let's go on to Rose, line 5, Long Island. What's on your mind, Rose?
Hi, Dominic. I feel like I'm watching the demise of this country. If there are no repercussions for this Poetica Cafe, that's the problem.
I'm with you,
It
Rose.
is it's Mandami's rhetoric. It's his rhetoric that's causing all this.
He's winning.
Stuff.
He's winning right now. Him and his the First Lady of New York. I'm sorry, ma'am. I don't mean to offend you, the First Lady, but him and his devil-looking wife. They're winning right now. We're losing. Make no mistake about it, Rose. He is the king of New York right now, and his agenda is winning, and this Brooklyn Cafe is the perfect illustration of this. There was a time back in the 80s, it would have been shut it down. They're operating like nothing ever happened, Rose.
Got to build a case against this guy like that drone manufacturer. I don't need to know the answer, but he shut them down because the end user was Israel. You got to show a propensity. You got to show reasons why, the feds need to come in. This guy is evil as evil can be. And his wife, she's no first lady. I wouldn't call her a lady. A lady wouldn't behave like that. That's it.
Well, I hear you, Rose, but I have an obligation as a professional member of the media of the Fourth Estate to refer to her by her title. I agree with you on everything that you said, and I think it's despicable that this man is the mayor of New York City, living in a taxpayer-funded mansion, protected 24 hours a day by police officers that will put their life on the line at the drop of a dime for him and his evil wife? I don't think so. Let's go to Sammy, line 4 in the Bronx. Sammy, what's going on?
Dominic, you're misidentifying the Democratic Socialist candidates. They're actually should be referred to as Marxists. By calling them Democratic Socialists, you're giving them much more,
what's the title they're running as?
Yes, but it's a fake title.
No. What's the title they're running as?
Democratic Socialists.
Okay, and I'm a journalist, right? So what else am I supposed to call them? And
you're supposed
what
to,
else am I supposed to call them?
To identify them as liars.
Okay, thank you for the call. Let's go to, let's see here. Let's go to Joan, Port Jefferson, line 3. Joan, what's on your mind?
Hiya, Dominic. Thanks for taking my call. I'm thinking about everything you're saying. And in New York, if the DSA are running primaries, Jews need not apply. All Muslims welcome. And I'll say another thing. I hope that Trump, while he's in power, gets off his butt and starts putting together some legislation that we do not ever have Sharia courts open in this country. Because when that happens, we're done.
Right. Well, I got to tell you, Joan, as of right now, Mamdani and his evil wife, they are winning. And don't forget Mommy and Daddy. He is the Prince of New York. The score is 3-0. The 0 happens to be us. The winner right now is Mamdani and his agenda. Born from the tragedy of 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation has been honoring America's heroes ever since. Donate $11 a month and amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Go to T2T.org. T2T.org. I am back live at midnight.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder,
what the heck is going on here?